There contention that there is perception of silver and memory of Rajata, that cannot be accepted, because had there been perception of, Shuktika, in that case, and memory of silver, had there been perception of Shuktika, then I would know it as then this silver would not have been projected. So perception of Shuktika would eliminate the very occasion of this projection of silver, and therefore their opinion is not acceptable. However, Paratra Parabhasa, that part only is acceptable. So, said here, Akhyati Matamaha Yatra Yad Adhyasa Tad Vivekagraha Nibandhano Brahma iti. Ratnabhava explains, Yatra Yasya Adhyasa Yatra is Shuktyadav. Yasya Adhyasa means Rajatasya Adhyasa Loka Siddha. This is well known, that Adhyasa of, so everybody accepts this part, fortunately, that there is Adhyasa of silver where there is Shuktika. Tayoho Tadhyoscha. So, Bheda Agrahe, we fail to distinguish between the Shuktika and Rajata, as well as fail to appreciate the difference between the Shuktika, which is object of perception, and silver, which is object of memory. And therefore, Pratyaksha and Smruti, we fail to appreciate the distinction between the two. Bheda Agrahe Sati, Tan Mulo Brahma, Tan Nibandhana, Tan Mulo Brahma. Nibandhana means Brahma, Mula. So Brahma has its mula in our inability to distinguish between the objects, as well as between the fact that one is an object of perception, other is an object of memory. Says Ratnaprabha, Deshantarastha Rajata Shruti Shukti. Deshantarastha Rajata Shukti Ruparthayoho Ityarthaha. Rajata is Deshantaram, meaning of the object of memory, and Shukti, so we do not appreciate the distinction between them. So, Rajatam says Smrutihi Idam Amshetu Anubhavayati Prabhakaramatam. So, Matantaram Jnapayati. So, Matam Tad Jnapayati, whatever. Rajatam says Smrutihi. In the Rajata, there is Smriti. In Idam, there is Anubhava. And then inability to be able to distinguish between them. In short, this is not a projection really. These fellows don't call it projection. It's only an error. Error is one thing, projection is another thing. Projection means creation of silver which is not there. Error is seeing silver where it is not. That's a different thing. So when you say that silver which is in another place, you are seeing here, in which case no new silver is created. There is an error of seeing in another place silver that obtains in another place. Therefore, they call it error, we call it what? Projection. So, according to them, Brahma is error, because they say that the whole world also is real, silver also is real. We say that the world is unreal, non-existent world is seen, non-existent silver is seen, meaning non-existent silver is projected. And so, in this case, Adhyasa is projection, in case of the Prabhakara, Adhyasa is error. भेदाग्रह काले एव तद्धेतुको भ्रमः तिष्ठति नैतरस्मिन् काले यदि भ्रमस्य भेदाग्रह समानकालीनत्वं द्योतयितुं भाष्यम् अनुसंकृत्वा योजयति भेद इति. So viveकाग्रह is भेदाग्रहे सति. That sati saptami is employed by Ratnaprabha to show that this Brahma obtains when there is Bhedagraha. And when Bhedagraha is not there, Brahma is not there, and so sati saptami is there. At that time is this Adhyasa. Then tan mula is what? Saha Bhedagrahe mulam nimitta karanam yasya saha तथा निमित्त कारण नाशांतरम लोके काले से सत्वम दुष्टम प्रकृतेतु न तथा यदि भावः. Even though they call it Vedagraha as Nimitta Karanam, but in fact when the Vedagraha goes away, even the Brahma also goes away, so Vedagraha becomes Upadana Karanam. So all kinds of problems are there in their thinking, which at the moment we are not discussing. Because that is not, we don't want to get digressed here. We are only interested in arriving at this understanding that Atasmin Tadbuddhi or Paratra Paravasa is Adhyasa. That's all our, when time will come, all these fellows will be handled, later on. But right now, this time is not there. So right now we are picking what is necessary for us and proceeding. See, otherwise, this is a discipline that is required of what not to say. Because that is a greater discipline than what to say. Discipline of what to say is one thing, discipline of what not to say is a greater discipline. But there is always this lobha. There always this desire is there to say a lot of things. Because I know so many things. In that case, I pour out all kinds of things which are relevant or not relevant. And it just confuses people, it distracts their attention. It may be very great and wonderful also. It may be enjoyable also. How wonderful. But what relevance does it have here? It may be wonderful in its own way, but no relevance here should not be there. That requires vairagya. Vairagya is required because you don't get distracted towards things that are not necessary. And therefore, Bhashyakara briefly mentions them just to prove the point that Lakshana that we have stated is a neat Lakshanam, acceptable to everybody. And beyond that, Tikakaras also don't go too much in detail. But since these opinions are mentioned, briefly Ratna Prabhakara says what these opinions are. So yatra yasya adhyasah lokasiddhah tayoho tadhyoश्च भेदग्रहे सति तन्मूलो भ्रमः idam rupyamiti vishishta vyavahara. What is brahma? Idam rupyamiti vishishta vyavahara. This is brahma. This is rupyam, this is silver, this vishishta vyavahara iti brahma iti vadanti prabhakaraha ityartha. So tayoho bhedasya agrahena idam rajamiti vishishtatvena ullikhyamana shabda prayogatmako brahma. So vyavahara is shabda prayoga here. So idam rajatam, this is silver. Iti vishishtatvena ullikhyamana shabda prayogatmaka brahma. This brahma of the nature of shabda prayoga, this is rajatam. Brahma utpadyate. They say that this brahma of the nature of this expression on your part that this is silver, this brahma is there. Silver is there. They don't say silver is not there. This silver is not an object of this. Silver is object of memory and you are calling it as an object of this. That's the Brahma part according to them. Tanmatepi deshantarasthasya anyatra bhana bhave katham vishishta vyavahara gale paduka nyayena. Sometimes you are carrying paduka in your, so like hanging paduka in your neck. So what you wanted to prove ultimately turns out to be a burden to yourself. Idea is that this Brahma also, even if you say that there is no projection, you do accept that the Deshantarastham Rajatam is there. And Deshantarastham Rajatam is remembered by you. And so it is remembered Rajatam that you see outside. But still Deshantarastha Rajatam is seen outside. Directly or indirectly, that's what you are saying. So Anyatra Anyavhasa is there, or Paratra Paravhasa. And therefore, anyatra vidyamanasya anyatra bhanarupa brahmana vyavahara na sambhavati iti akarika taya vishishta bhrantehe taihi api swikaryatvad ityartha. So they also accept there is bhranti is there. Then going further. So Ratnavara taihi api Vishishta Vyavahara Anyatha Anupapatya. This Vishishta Vyavahara, what is Idam Rajatam? This is silver. This particular Vyavahara would not have taken place. Anyatha Anupapatti. This Vyavahara or this expression on our part, or this notion on our part that this is silver, this expression would not have taken place unless the silver that obtains in another place is mistaken to be silver obtaining here. Vishishta Bhrantehe Svikaryatvat Paratra Paravhasa Sammatihi iti bhavaha. So they also have this sammati, this agreement, Paratra Paravhasa. Then Shunyamatamaha. So further now Bhashyakara says, quotes mentions Shunyamata. Bhashya says, Anyeto Yatra Yadadhyasah Tasyaiva Viparita Dharmatva Kalpanam Achakshate Iti. Again, Yatra Shuktyadau Yadadhyasah Rajatadhyasah तस्यैव विपरीत धर्मत्व कल्पना. A rajata which is non-existent is taken to be existent. That's the viparita dharma. So, viparita dharmatva kalpana, a non-existent silver is taken to be existent silver. This kalpana, according to them, is adhyasa. Says Ratnaparva Shunyamatamah Anyeto iti. So, yatra yadadhyasah, that part is common. Tasyeva means tasyeva adhishthanasya shuktyadehe विपरीत धर्मत्व कल्पना विपरीतः विरुद्धः धर्मः यस्य तद्भावः तस्य रजतादेः अत्यंत असतः कल्पना आचक्षते इत्यर्थः. So the Shuktiyadi is viparita dharmatva kalpana. Shukti alone is taken to be rajata. So viparitah dharma viruddhah dharma yasya tadbhavah tasya rajatadehe, that rajata which is, so that Shuktika which is taken to be rajata, which rajata is what? Atyant asatah. Rajata that is totally non-existent. Vedantins do not say rajata is totally non-existent. If rajata were totally non-existent, there would not be an activity on your part to pick it up. So we don't call it non-existent, nor do we call it real. Had it been real, you would have found it. So we neither call it non-existent, nor do we call it real. So we call it mithya, which is a big difference. And that's what the whole science is only proving all this. Nobody says that thing world is non-existent because they experience it. And nobody knows what it is. You cannot say that this thing is because everything resolves into something else. And therefore you cannot say that it is real either. So rajatadehe atyanta asatah kalpanam achakshate ityarthah. Says Ratna Purnandiya down there, Rajatadehi viparita dharmatva shabdartha iti abhiprepyaha. So viparita dharma is what? Is rajata. So where there is in fact shuktika, there is viparita dharmatva, meaning the perception or seeing of rajata, which that means what we are doing is superimposing upon shuktika a viparita dharma. That's all. What dharma? Dharma of rajata. What kind of rajata? Non-existent rajata. Upon shuktika there is a projection of rajata which is non-existent. So rajata is viparita dharma. And what is the nature of rajata? Atyanta asat. So Purnandiya says that rajatadehi viparita dharmatva shabdartha. In that bhashya, यन्येतु यत्र यदध्यासः तस्यैव विपरीत धर्मत्व, that विपरीत धर्मत्व is रजतादिहि इति अभिप्रेत्य व्याचष्टे तस्यैव इति तस्यैव अधिष्ठानस्य शुक्त्यादेः, तस्यैव is अधिष्ठानस्य शुक्त्यादेः विपरीत धर्मत्व कल्पनां विपरीतः विरुद्धः धर्मः रजतादिहि विरुद्ध अत्यंत असत्वरूपः धर्मः रजतादिः यस्य शुक्त्यादेः सह विरुद्ध धर्मः. So shukti etc. has a dharma of rajata which is totally non-existent, and tasya viruddha dharmasya शुक्त्यादेः भावः रजतादिः तस्य रजतादेः. So rajatadeः kalpana, they say that this is a kalpana of rajata which is non-existent, which is seen as the dharma of shukti. अत्र आलोकतादात्म्य संबंधेन शुक्ति शकलस्य असद रजत धर्मत्वत्वं वेदितव्यम्. आलोकतादात्म्य संबंधेन शुक्ति शकलस्य असद रजत धर्मत्वं, that shukti shakalam, meaning the mother of pearl, is taken to possess the dharma of silver which is non-existent, dharma of non-existent silver. This is the Shunyavada. Anyway, so this is the different vadas here. Says Ratnaparva, eteshu mateshu paratra paravabhasatva lakshana samvadamaha. Anyway, in all these matas or in all these contentions, this lakshana samvada, concurrence of this lakshana is what? Paratra paravabhasaha. That lakshana is there is a concurrence of all of them. Sarvatha ख्यातित्वादि प्रकार विवाद अध्यासः तो लक्षणं न जहाति. सो अन्यस्य अन्यधर्मावादितां न व्यभिचरति, न जहाति. अन्यथा ख्यातित्वादि प्रकार विवादेपि, even though there is all this vivada of अन्यथा ख्याति आदि शब्देन आत्मख्यातित्वादिकम उच्यते, means अन्यथा atma etc. and all this ख्याति. So prakara vivadepi, even though there is vivada or contention, adhyasa paratra paravabhasatva lakshanam na jahati. Adhyasa does not give up this lakshanam that it is paratra paravabhasa. Samvadam sammatam ityartha. That's already done. Says Purnanandiya in the first line of page 47, Deshantare Sattva Yogaditi Anena Anyatha Khyadi Atmakhyadi Madad Dvay Nirasaha. Oh, says here, Ratna Prabha, read further. Shuktau Aparokshasya Rajadasya Deshantare. Now we are in one sentence, it dismisses all the khyadis. How? Shuktau Aparokshasya Rajadasya देशांतरे बुद्धो वा सत्व अयोगात् शून्यत्वे प्रत्यक्षत्व अयोगात् शुक्तौ सत्वे बाद अयोगात् मिथ्यात्वम एव इति भाव. He said earlier that by yukti we will show that adhishthana must be satyam and adhyaropa must be mithya. That yukti he shows here. He says shuktau aparokshasya. One thing is accepted. Shukti is aparoksha, meaning shukti or mother of pearl is directly perceived. So शुक्तौ अपरोक्षस्य रजतस्य देशांतरे बुद्धौ वा सत्व अयोगात्. So शुक्तौ अपरोक्षस्य रजतस्य. Shukti means in the mother of pearl. Rajatam also is aparoksham, which is seen in front of you. So rajata or the silver that you see in front of you directly, which you perceive directly, deshantare sattva ayogat. Silver that you perceive here. Why do you say that you perceive silver there? Vedantin say that you perceive silver there. We don't say that silver is non-existent. We say that you do perceive silver there. Why do we say we perceive silver? Because there is pravritti of picking up that silver. If that silver was not perceived, then there would not have been activity on my part to pick up that silver. So pravritti of picking up the silver shows that silver is what? Aparoksham, or directly perceived. So aparokshasya rajasya. So silver that you are at the moment seeing in front of you, deshantare sattva ayogar, you cannot say that it is in a different place. Or buddhau sattva ayogar, you cannot say it is in the buddhi also. Because had that silver been in the buddhi, you would not think that it is in front of you. Had that silver been in another place, you would not think that it is in front of you. You think that the silver is in front of you, that itself is a proof that it cannot be in the buddhi, nor can it be in another place. So, deshantare sattva yogadidayena anyatha khyadi atma khyadi madad dvay nirasaha. It cannot be deshantare, and therefore anyatha khyadi cannot be, atma khyati also cannot be. Atma khyati vadino bhi anyatra anya dharma bhasasya agatya angikara vibhava. Alright, so agatya means that ultimately you arrive at this, when you know their choice, then agatya, meaning that they also will not accept that what is Buddhist is seen out there. Kechit shuktau eva rajatasya utpattihi tatra tasya utpannasya rajatasya satyutam angikaramite vadanti. Some fellow says that rajatam is satyam. Shuktau eva rajatasya utpattihi. In the shukti there is a real rajata. All the dvaitins, they accept the world as real. And so, the Shuktika Adhisthana also is real, Adhyaropa also is real. Brahman also is real, world also is real. This is Shuddhadvaitam, Shuddhadvaitam. So they say that Mithya makes this Lord Ashuddha. This Maya contaminates God. So they say, there is no Maya, world is also real, and God also is real. So Adhisthana also is real, and Adhyaropa also is Satyam. So how will you explain that? Shuktau eva rajatasya utpattihi. There is actually creation of rajata where there is shuktika. Tatra tatsya utpannasya rajasya satyatvam angikaramite vadanti. Some people say that silver is real. We say that we perceive silver, but we don't say it is real silver. We do perceive silver, that we accept, but it is not real silver. They say that you perceive silver and it is real silver. There are so many opinions on that, so many schools of philosophies. All the schools are contained in one phenomenon called Adhyasa. So everybody has to justify their opinion by explaining the phenomenon of Adhyasa. Why does everyone have opinion about this? Because everybody accepts that you do see silver where there is shell. So perception can be like this. How to explain that? And according to their perception of the nature of reality and the nature of creation, they will explain that Adhyasa accordingly. So those who take the world also to be real, they will have to say that the silver there is real. Tanmatam nirakaroti shuktau satvedi. Okay. Then other matas are also there, by the way. Buddhova sattva yogat shunyatve pratyakshatva yogat. The shunya means akhyātivāda also is eliminated by saying shunyatve pratyakshatva yogat. If that silver was shunya, meaning non-existent, pratyakshatva yogat, you could not have perceived it. The fact that if there is a perception of silver, you cannot say that it is non-existent. So akhyāti also is dismissed in this manner. And then says shuktau sattve bāda ayogat. So rajatasya sattve, in fact, shuktau sattve iti. Atra idam tu anusandheyam. Suktau sattve bāda ayogat. Yeah, rajatasya sattve, that's all we have to say. If the rajata were real, as some people claim, bāda ayogat, then there would not have been bāda, and therefore rajatam cannot be satyam also. So, had it been real, they would not have been, you would falsify it. Had it been not there, you would not have perceived it. Had it been elsewhere, you could not perceive it in front of you. So therefore all the khyātis are dismissed in this manner, and ultimately the rajatam is what? Mithya. And so aropyam is what? Mithya. And when aropya is mithya, the adhisthana must be satyam, because niradhisthana brahma cannot be there. Says Ratnaprabha further, aropya mithyatve na yukti apeksha tasya anubhava siddhatvad idyaha. And that aropyam is mithya, it doesn't require yukti, there is a anubhava siddhatvad. Everybody knows that silver is mithya. So whenever everybody, whether he is a shunyavadi or whoever it is, all of them will pick up that thing, All these fellows will pick up the silver anyway, will try to pick up. Regardless of what philosophy they entertain, whenever they see that glittering thing, and generally these fellows won't have money, because those fellows who do this, they'll be, they can't earn, and so they will be always in need of money. And so when you find a piece of silver, definitely all of them will have the pravritti of picking up that silver. And all of them recognize, whoever is, that it is only a shell. And therefore, says here, aropya mithyāpe na yukti apeksha. That aropya or rajata is mithya, doesn't require yukti, it is anubhava, tasya anubhava siddhatvad. Tasya mithyātvasya anubhava siddhatvad. That mithyatvam, everybody knows. What's the necessity of all this contention? To justify something that, what happens is, to justify one thing, they have to distort this completely. How everybody distorts things? Because they want to justify something else. You keep on distorting. Something simple is being distorted so much. You find this in life all the time. That when there are vivada contentions are going on, you wonder why do the fellow says this? Because he wants to justify something, or he wants to prove something. And so in order to prove one thing, they have to distort a simple experience. That is not there, and you perceive it is there, but it baffles everybody. So Vashyakara says, Tathacha loke anubhavaha shukti-kahe rajatavat avabhasate ekaschandraha swadvitiya vadite. तथा च लोके अनुभव. Bhashyakara says that it doesn't require to prove that this Rajata is mithya. It is a matter of experience of everyone. Shuktika hi Rajatavat avbhasate. That Shuktika alone appears as though it is Rajata. This is what everyone knows. Ekas Chandraha Dvitiya vadati. That one moon appears as though possessed of two. So Dvitiya, possessed of the secondness is there. So one moon appears as two. Says Ratnaprabha, Badhantar Kalinaha Ayam Anubhava. Ayam Anubhava is not right now. When Bhashyakara says it is the experience of everyone, that it is shell alone that appears as silver. It is not when he sees that silver. It is only when he picks up the shell, then he says, hey, it was a shell that appeared like silver. So, Badhanandara Kalinaha Ayam Anubhava. This Anubhava is Badhanandara Kalina. Meaning, having seen that the silver is not there, then having determined that the silver was false, when silver was falsified or negated, then Anubhava means, then this knowledge dawned on him that this was false. It takes how many lives to discover this? Bahunam janmanam, that business is false. It is, that the samskara of giving reality to what we perceive is so strong that to recognize that the scientist, in spite of proving in his laboratory that is all false, and we, in spite of proving in this classroom that everything is false, right away everything is taken to be real. Why? Samskaras are so strong, But Bhadakalinaha Ayam Anubhava. Tatpurvam Shuktikatva Jnana Ayogat. Unless the silver is negated, until then he thought that silver is real. So as long as he thought that this is silver, he did not have the knowledge of Shuktika. We must know that. As long as I think that there is silver, that shows that I do not have the knowledge of the substance that is really there, namely Shuktika. Satat Purvam meaning Bhada Purvam. Shuktikatva Jnana Ayogat. There could not have been a knowledge of Shuktika, otherwise I would not have mistaken that Padartha to be silver. If I knew that there is Shuktika, suppose because I took a walk in the morning when the sun had not risen, I had seen that object as Shuktika. After 1 hour I returned after my walk. Now sun has risen, I see silver there. Am I going to be mistaken? No. I know that this is a play of light. Therefore, I know that this is Shuktika. Even though it appears as silver, I do not take that object as silver, because I have knowledge of Shuktika. In which case, nobody takes it to be silver. So, Tatpurvam Shuktikatva Jnana Ayogat. Whenever I think that there is silver, that shows that I do not know that it is Shuktika. Rajatasya Bhada Pratyaksha Siddham Mithyatvam Vat Shabdena Uchyate. Rajatavat Avbhasate. Is Bhada Pratyaksha Siddham. Bhada is Pratyaksha. When I pick up the shell, there is a direct knowledge that there is no silver here. So, non-existence of silver is known directly by the knowledge of Shuktika. And that is how, what is Bhada? To discover that this substance is totally non-existent. That is called Bhada. So, Bhada Pratyaksha Siddham, that knowledge of the non-existence of silver is direct perceptual knowledge. And that is how I realize that what was not there appeared to be there. So, Yadasat Bhasamanam Tad Mithya. Asat, non-existent silver, Bhasamanam, appearing to be silver, is called Mithya. That I recognize later on. And therefore, so Bhashyakara said, Rajatavad avbhasate. As like Rajata. Like Rajata means it is not that I know later on. In the beginning I think it is Rajata. Had I known in the beginning that it is like Rajata, certainly I would have been smart enough not to commit the error, or being stupid enough to go and pick it up. And then being humiliated later on, everybody will look at me and then laugh at me. Oh, I thought Swami, you were great Vairagya, But then poor Swami was out of this Brahma when he picked up that thing. Certainly, even though I don't have Vairagya, I would not make an expression or pradarshan of my lack of Vairagya in front of others. But I did it, that shows that I thought that it was real silver. But the mithyatva of the silver is recognized only when I come to know that substance is Shuktika. So that Rajatavat avbhasate. Atmani nirupadike ahankaradhyase drishtantamuktva Brahma Jivandra Bhedasya Avidyadi Upadikasya Dhyase Drishtantamaha Ekahiti. आत्मनि निरुपाधिके अहंकार अध्यासे. Drishtantam, this drishtanta of silver upon the Shuktika is silver, drishtanta that explains the phenomenon of superimposition of ahankara upon Atma, which is nirupadika. Drishtanta muktva brahma jivantar bhedasya, brahma jivantar bhedasya. So this bheda, the duality between brahma and jiva, or between one jiva and the other jiva. So jivantar bhedasya, brahma and jiva. And jiva and jiva. So there is only one or non-dual. There is what? Our knowledge is that there is duality. So where there is one, we perceive what? Many. Not only we perceive, we take to be real that many. Avidyadi upadikasya adhyasya dushtantamaha. That avidya becomes the cause. Avidya becomes the special reason why one is taken to the other. So something else is required. What is it just as? So what is upadhi is being explained that some extra factor is required. Ekah chandraha, ekas chandraha sadvitiyavat iti. One moon appears as though it is two. So dvitiya chandra sahitavat ekah eva angulya dvida bhati. That is upadhi. Normally chandra will not appear to be two. But when you press your eyes by your finger, then one chandra appears to be two. So this particular thing is required, the upadhi is required. This extra additional factor is required for the moon to appear as two. And similarly also, ignorance is required in order for one Atma or Brahman to appear as two, as Jiva and Ishvara. So avidya becomes the upadhi there. So that is the sopadika adhyasa, other one is called nirupadika adhyasa. Says यावत् कार्यम अवस्थाय भेद हेतु हो उपादितायति अभियुक्त वचनेन. Upadhi word is explained here. यावत् कार्यम अवस्थाय भेद हेतु हो उपादिता. As long as the karya is there, that which creates the bheda is called upadhi. Iti abhivyukta vachanena yo bheda hetu, then it goes away. So when the bheda goes away, when the upadhi also goes away, so upadhi becomes the cause for the bheda. Iti abhiyukta vachanena yo bheda hetu saha upadhi. That which is the cause for duality is called upadhi. Iti niyamaha hi anubhava siddha yatha chandrehi aneka chandratve angulyadhi. Chandra appears aneka, two also is aneka. So I guess it can appear more than two also, depends on how you press this thing. But two definitely you can see right away. So yasa eka yasa chandrehi aneka chandratve. When Chandra appears aneka means not one, means two also. So one Chandra appearing as two, aneka we feel that many. Aneka you should know, two also is called aneka. So anek loko ava means two also fellows will be there, you know. Don't think there are many people who came. But anyway, although in Rudhi aneka means many, but in Sanskrit aneka means that which is not eka, that's all. Aneka chandratve angulyadihi tatha cha ahankar atmanoho aikya adhyase avidyadehe bhedakatva bhavatma upaditvam. There ahankar and atma appear to be one. And so there is no bheda between ahankar and atma, and therefore ahankar atmanoho aikya adhyase avidyadehe bhedakatva abhavat. That avidya does not cause the knowledge of duality of ahankar and atma. On the other hand, ahankar appears one with atma, and therefore there is no bheda hetu there. So avidya is there, but doesn't become upadhi. In case of the adhyasa of ahankara, kintu hetutva matram. So avidya is hetu for the adhyasa of ahankara, but not upadhi. Meaning it doesn't create that duality or difference between the two. In fact, avidya it eliminates the difference. In fact, Atma and Ahankara are two entities, because avidya we take them to be one. And so avidya becomes a hetu for adhyasa, but that hetu in technical language is not called upadhi. Upadhi is that which creates the distance. On the other hand, here avidya creates oneness, where in fact there are two entities, Atma and Ahankara, and therefore avidyadehe भेदकत्व अभावात् न उपाधित्वं किंतु हेतुत्व मात्रम् तस्यैव अविद्या दैट वेरी सेम अविद्या creates what जीवांतर भेदः so ब्रह्म जीवांतर भेदकत्वात् तद अध्यासेतु उपाधित्वं that very same avidya which creates oneness of atma and ahankara where there is two creates two-ness of jiva and brahma where there is one. See what this upadhi avidya does is where there is two it makes them appear as one. What? Like silver and shuktika are two, but the ignorance of this shuktika makes both of them appear as one. Similarly atma is one, ahankara is another one, but ignorance makes them appear to be one. Now jiva and brahma are one, but very same avidya makes them appear as two. So what are two are made to appear as one, and what is one is made to appear as two. This is what avidya does. In both we have disadvantage. There is a loss in both the cases. Ideally we should have known ahankara as different from atma, and we should have known jiva as identical to brahma, but avidya does this too. So one adhyasa of ahankara upon atma is called nirupadika adhyasa, because avidya doesn't become the cause of creating duality between ahankara and atma. In case of, however, that brahma or the delusion of taking brahma as different from jiva, that is called sopadika adhyasa, because there very avidya becomes the cause of creating a distance or duality between jiva and brahma. तस्यैव अविद्यादेः ब्रह्म जीवांतर भेदकत्वात् तद अध्यासे तो उपाधित्वम्. That very same adhyasa there becomes upadhi. So तस्मान् निरुपाधिकः सोपाधिकस्य इति द्विविधः अध्यासः. Now adhyasa are so many kinds. So सोपाधिकः निरुपाधिकः. अर्थाध्यासः ज्ञानाध्यासः, स्वरूपाध्यासः तादात्म्याध्यासः, संसर्गाध्यासः, सोपाधिकः अध्यासः निरुपाधिक अध्यासः इति द्विविध अध्यास इति अभिप्रेत्य अवतारयति आत्मनीति. So that is what there Ratna Prabhakara said, आत्मनि निरुपाधिके अहंकार अध्यासे दृष्टान्तम् उक्त्वा ब्रह्म जीवांतर भेदस्य जीवात् अन्यः जीवांतरम् ब्रह्म जीव भिन्नम् इति ब्रह्मणि जीव भेदस्य सोपाधिकस्य अध्यासे चैत्रो मित्रात् भिन्नः इति परस्पर जीव भेदस्य सोपाधिकस्य अध्यासे च. So when Ratna Prabha says Brahma Jivantar Bhedasya, two kind of Veda is involved there. One is Brahma is different from Jiva. Second is one Jiva is different from another Jiva. So Jiva, so Jivantarasya Bhinnaha. So for example, Jivadanyah Jivantar Chaitraha Maitrat Bhinnaha. Chaitra also is Jiva and Maitra also is Jiva. Both are names by the way. Chaitra's fellow is born in Chitra, you know. So it is called Chaitra. And Mitra, according to Nakshatra, all the Nakshatra there. So Chitra Nakshatra, the fellow is born in Chitra, is called Chaitra. Mitra is called Maitra. Nice way of giving names, you see. So Chaitra, Mitra, Chaitrat Bhinna, Chitra, Maitrat Bhinna. Even though Chaitra also is Jiva and Maitra also is Jiva. But then we take them two to be different from each other. That duality is created by avidya. And Brahma is taken also to be different from I, the Atma. That duality also is created by avidya. So in this case, avidya becomes the cause of creating duality where it is not. So it is called upadhi. So avidya is definitely the cause of Brahma in each case, but further cause of creating duality of where there is one, or cause of making one appear as many. So it further serves the purpose of upadhi. So Chaitra Maitra Bhinna iti Paraspara Jiva Bhedasya Sopadikasya Adhyase cha. So there are two Sopadika Adhyasa, Jiva Brahma Bhedaha and Jiva Bhedaha. Drishtantamaha. So Ekas Chandraha Sadvitiyavat Bhati. One Chandra appears as though possessed of secondness. So Dvitiya Chandra Sahitavat, as though this Chandra is possessed with another Chandra. Ekaheva Angulya Dvidha Bhati. One moon alone appears as twofold. Sadvitiyavati bhashyartham kasen drishtantopadim spurati dvitiya iti. Bhashyakara says, Ekaschandra sadvitiyavad iti. That iti pada is what? Lakshana prakarana upasamharartha iti shabda. This iti shabda is for upasamhara, conclusion of discussion of lakshana of the adhyasa. So lakshana prakarana upasamharartha iti shabda. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Atha Anyatra Anyadharmadhyasa iti vadante Kechittu Yatra Yadadhyasah Tadvivekagraha nibandhano bhrama iti Anyetu Yatra Yadadhyasah Tasyaiva Viparita dharmatva kalpanamachakshate iti sarvathapitu anyasya anyadharmavabhasatān navyabhicharati तथा च लोके अनुभवः शुक्तिकाहि रजतवत् अवभासते एकश्चन्द्रः सद्वितीयवदिति. The Lakshana Bhashya is concluded. Tatha cha loke anubhavaha. The conclusion is that the adhishthanam is satyam and adhyaropa is mithya. So whereas different people have different opinions about what is the mechanism of this adhyasa or the mechanism of perception of silver, where in fact there is only a piece of shell, different people have different opinions. However, somebody thinks that the silver which is there in a shop, that's what you see. Somebody thinks the silver that is in your mind, that's what you see. Somebody thinks that silver that is an object of memory, that's what you see. Somebody says silver is non-existent, is what you see. And of course Vedantin say that silver which is there in the adhishthanam, but which is not real, which is mithya, that is what you see. Regardless of what opinion is there, sarvathapitu anyasya anyadharmavabhasatam navyabhicharati. This adhyasa is certainly, one thing is common in all of this, anyatra anyasya anyadharmavabhasatam, that the one thing appears to possess the dharma of the others, this aspect, or paratra paravabhasah. So one thing appearing where it is not, this is what is common to all of them, and therefore that becomes a adhyasa lakshanam. Paratra avabhasah or paratra paravabhasah. So paratra means in the location, in the locus where it is totally non-existent. At the time that it appears, this is called adhyasa. And thus, that this adhyasa is mithya. That is silver that we see is mithya, lokecha anubhavaha. It doesn't require any proof, it is something that is directly known by people. How do we know that? By the badha. By the silver that we saw earlier, and when we pick up the shell, when the knowledge of the shell takes place, we find that the silver is not there. Therefore, we say that the silver was mithya. And so, Shuktikahi Rajadavat Avbhasade. This is Anubhavaha. So, one thing appearing to be different, or projection or creation of a thing where it is totally non-existent. And another illustration is one thing appearing to be many. Ekaschandraha sadvitiyavaditi. How one moon, on account of some external factor, like in this case, pressing the eyes with the finger, how that makes the moon, one moon appear to be two. And similarly also, what we call ignorance, makes Brahman appear as many. One Brahman alone is made to appear as Jiva, Jagat as Ishvara, as variety of Jivas. All this multiplicity is nothing but an appearance of one Brahman. Thus multiplicity is projected upon one Brahman. We say multiplicity is created. Multiplicity means Dvaita. Dvaita doesn't only mean two, the dual division is created in one. And that also is our practical experience, that whenever we press our eyes, the eyeballs with the finger, we do see two moons where there is in fact one, and thus one thing can appear as many, and that is also Adhyasa. So in this manner, the Adhyasa Lakshanam. Adhyasa Lakshanam is Paratra Paravabhasaha and Adhisthana Satyatvam Aropya Mithyatvam. This Adhyasa Lakshanam is discussed here. पूर्णानंदिया लोके लक्षण प्रमाणाभ्याम वस्तु निर्णय सिद्धि अत्र मिथ्यात्व स्पष्टीकरणाय उक्तेन लक्षणेन अध्यास स्वरूपे सिद्धे. सो लोके लक्षण प्रमाणाभ्याम वस्तु निर्णयत्व सिद्धि वस्तु निर्णय सिद्धि. We said earlier that vastu means anything is ascertained to be what it is by lakshana and pramana. So the process is, once you give lakshana or definition, define a particular thing, and then you identify by pramanam, by valid means of knowledge. That is how you ascertain that there is this vastu. You identify, you give the definition of a camel. The animal with a hunch is camel. That would be called lakshana. And then seeing camel with your eyes and identifying camel among the many animals would be called pramanam. Pramanam is a means of knowledge. The prama, the valid knowledge is produced by valid means of knowledge. So there should be valid means of knowledge also. You may give a definition which is not perceptible, suppose. You define some kind of an object which is flying in the air and having so many wings and stuff like that, but you can't see it. In which case, this siddhi is not there. Whether Gandharva is there or Yaksha Kinnara are there, who knows? Since it cannot be perceived, or at least with a sense of perception that we have, we cannot perceive them. Is there heavens? We do not know. So, for all this, then there is no siddhi unless we accept Shruti as Pramana. In all of this, Shastra is Pramana. Because the organs of perception at our disposal are not competent to perceive those objects. Then Shabda becomes Pramana. Where direct perception is not there, indirect knowledge is gained through what we call Aptavakya, or the words of the wise people. In this case, Shruti. But how about the ghost and stuff like that? Swamiji, is it there? No. So these key things we cannot do nirnaya of such objects. Why? Because no pramana. These questions remain. Yayam prete vichikitsa manushye astityeke nayam astiti cheke. This vichikitsa, this doubt always remains pertaining to this man who dies. Some people say Atma is, some people say Atma is not, meaning that some residue is there after this body is destroyed. Some people say that there is no residue at all. Now, it is one person's word against another person's word, because we cannot neither prove the presence of Atma nor can we disprove it. So, Vastu Nirnaya Siddhi cannot take place unless there is Pramanam. That is where Shruti Pramanyam comes. That such Vastu is Atma, Brahma, Swarga. So those who are Nitya Paroksha, like such as Atma, which however does not become an object of sense perception, or Swarga etc., which are Nitya Paroksha, which also can never be perceived by us, at least doing this when we are in this embodiment. All those objects can only be determined to be there and as they are by Shruti. That's why Shruti is Pramanam in all Atindriya Vishayas. That's why Lakshana and Pramanam. It is not only enough that we have Lakshana, the definition, that suppose you define Brahman as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and you can never know it as such, in that case, it will always remain a matter of speculation. So in case of Atma or Brahman, which is aparoksha vishaya, not only Shruti is a pramanam, but there is a verification by my own experience also. So Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava, all of these become pramanam. Shruti says Brahman is. So, asanneva sabhavati asad brahmeti veda chet, asti brahmeti chet veda santamenam tato viduhu. So Brahman is. Those people who deny the existence of Brahman, they deny themselves. Those people who accept it, meaning those who always take into account the presence of Brahman, then they really become, their life becomes worthwhile. So, alright, Shruti is pramanam. And Yukti also is there. There Brahman has to be. Yuktis are given. So kamayata bhishasmad vatah pavade raso isaha. In Upanishad also, Shankaracharya interprets the whole section as presentation of showing the sambhavana of Brahman, possibility that Brahman is. Asadva idamagrased. So tato sadajayata sadajayata. So then this sat or existent creation is, and therefore an existent substratum must be, and so forth and so on. But then also that Brahman will still remain merely an object of a speculation for you, unless it becomes directly an object of a knowledge. And so Brahman has to be known as the very self. Then alone there is a final proof. And Svarga also has to be known with a given embodiment. That's a final proof. Until then, it only remains a possibility, or what we call an intellectual possibility. There only remains paroksha jnanam. But something becomes aparoksha only when it is known with a valid means of knowledge. Adhyasa also, the lakshana was given. Now, loke lakshana pramanabhyam vastu nirnaya siddhi. So, in common experience, vastu nirnaya siddhi, ascertainment of vastu. Whether such a vastu is there or not, and what the nature of the vastu is, that is established by lakshana and pramana. Atra mithyatva spashtikaranaaya uktena lakshanena adhyasa swarupe siddhe. Lakshana that was stated in order to clarify that adhyasa is mithya. And thus, by that lakshana, paratra parabhasa, by that lakshana, adhyasa swarupe siddhe, the swarupa or the nature of adhyasa has been ascertained or has been declared as mithya. Lakshana prashnavasar kale. So having discussed lakshana prashnavasar kale at that time, aha, koyam adhyaso namedi, kahayam adhyasa hai, that was the question. Kim shabdena buddhisthasya sambhavana akshepasya utthanat. At that time also, when you ask a question, what is the nature of the adhyasa, the question reveals also that there is a question in your mind whether adhyasa is there or not. When you ask the nature, say, what's the nature of this adhyasa, then in the buddhi of the person who asks the question, that sambhavana akshepasya utthanat, that sambhavana, whether adhyasa is there or not, there was an akshepa, sort of a denial of that possibility that adhyasa being there was suggested even when that person asked, what is the nature of adhyasa? What's the nature of adhyasa? When you ask that question, there is in your mind a doubt whether adhyasa is there or not. And so that sambhavana akshepa, or a denial or a doubt about that sambhavana adhyasa being there was raised there, utthanat, that idea was raised there. Vastu nischyatam pramana nirupanat purvam sambhavana nirupanam yuktam. And therefore, even though lakshana and pramana, those two are enough to ascertain the nature of things, in case of adhyasa also, lakshana and pramana should have been adequate. But since while asking the question about lakshana, there was expressed an inherent doubt about the very possibility of adhyasa, therefore it becomes necessary to establish the sambhavana or possibility of adhyasa. Iti abhipretya, and therefore instead of proceeding with pramanam of adhyasa, Bhashyakara chooses to discuss the sambhavana or possibility of adhyasa, because otherwise that question, well, what's the nature of adhyasa, and that that doubt about the adhyasa's possibility would remain in the mind of the student. And even if you describe, pramanam, etc., that will not become clear in his mind. Sambhavana akshepam, and therefore it abhipretya sambhavana akshepam utthapayatim. He questioned the sambhavana. Earlier was a question out of jijnasa. What is the nature of adhyasa? Question that is asked now is questioning adhyasa. I don't think there is adhyasa. Formally, what's the nature of adhyasa? Now question is, I don't. How can adhyasa be there? So here there is a questioning or akshepa. Akshepa means a denial or negation or questioning of adhyasa. And thus we are questioning here the sambhavana or the very possibility of adhyasa. So earlier was a question and this one is an akshepa. That was a prashna sangati. Here it is akshepa sangati. There must be a difference between, you must know the difference between akshepa and prashna. So Ratna Prabhakara says, Bhavatu adhyasa shuktyadau. Alright. You have given the lakshana or definition of adhyasa, which Shukti, mother of pearl, appearance of silver, as an illustration. Fine. We accept that Bhavatu Shuktyadau adhyasa. We accept that in such places as Shukti, etc., that adhyasa is okay. Bhavatu, let it be. It is accepted. Atmanitu na sambhavati iti akshipati. Atmanitu, but we don't think that adhyasa can be there in Atma. Iti akshipati. Thus, he questions the very possibility of adhyasa in Atma. Says Bhashyakara, Katham punaha pratyagatmani avishaye adhyasaha vishayatadharmanam. Katham punaha pratyagatmani avishaye. However, how can there be adhyasaha, this superimposition, pratyagatmani in the very pratyagatma, the inner indwelling self, or self that is my nature, inner self, avishaye, which is avishaya. Vishaya means that which can be objectified, that which becomes the object of knowledge. Atma does not become the object of any vritti. Vishaya means that becomes the object of vritti jnanam. Atma does not become the object of Vishaya of vritti jnanam. So Ghata can be called Vishaya because it becomes the object of Ghata vritti. Atma in that way does not become the object of Vishaya of any vritti. So that's why he is called Avishaya. Avishaye adhyasaha vishayasya tadharmanam. How can you superimpose Vishaya, an object upon Atma, or the dharma of the object upon the Atma, where Atma is Avishaya? Says Ratnaprabha, Yatra aparoksha adhyasa nishthatvam tatra indriya sanyuktatvam vishayatvam cha iti vyaptihi. Why does this question arise? Because there is some common knowledge here. Vyaptihi, vyapti is what? A common knowledge, a universal relationship that exists from our experiences. All the vyaptis means all these general rules. Wherever there is smoke, there must be fire. All such vyaptis are arrived at from our general experience. So also, what is our common experience? Yatra aparoksha adhyasa adhishthānatvam, where there is adhishthānatvam, where a substance like Shuktika can become adhishthanam, locus of adhyasa. Aparoksha adhyasa adhisthana, aparoksha means pratyaksha here. That where such object as Shuktika can be, aparoksha is a word that is used by Naiyayikas for denoting what we call pratyaksha. Pratyaksha means that which is directly perceived, and they say aparoksha, that which is directly perceived, which is not paroksha. So, yatra aparoksha adhyasa adhisthānatvam, when a thing becomes adhisthānam or locus of aparoksha adhyasa, a direct adhyasa or superimposition, tatra indriya sanyuktatvam, we find that like Shuktika or rope etc., which become adhyasa adhisthana, there is always indriya sanyoga, there is always a contact with the sense organ. Meaning the object must become an object of my knowledge and it should be perceived. It should become an object of perception. If I don't perceive Shuktika or Rajju, it's not going to happen that I will superimpose something upon that. For me to superimpose something, that object must become an object of my perception. So Indriya Sannikarsha, the contact with the sense organ must be there. Vishayatvam cha. And also that locus adhisthana also must be what? Vishaya. Vishaya means something that is objectified. Something that can be objectified. Suppose something becomes that is Indriya Sannikarsha, but suppose objectification is not there. Suppose vritti does not take place, in which case it doesn't become an object of a knowledge, then also it will not become the object of the locus of dhyasa. So there must be contact with the sense organ as well as that object or that locus must become the object of my knowledge. So two conditions are required. One is Indriya Sannikarsha or Indriya Sanyuktatvam, another is Vishayatvam. Any adhisthana, such as Shuktika, which becomes a substratum for the superimposition of something like Rajata, should have these two qualifications. One is Indriya Sanyuktatvam, other is Vishayatvam. It must become the object of, there must be a contact with the sense organs as well as it must become an object of knowledge. It is Vyapti. This is Vyapti. This is something that is universally applicable. It is Vyapti Shuktyado Drushta. We find this particular rule applicable in such locus as Shukti, etc. Tatra Vyapak Abhavat Atmanah Adhisthanattvam na sambhavati iti abhipretya aha. Tatra, when this Vyapti is there as a matter of our experience, Vyapaka Abhavat, there is a Vyapya, Vyapaka Sambandha. Vyapya, that which is pervaded, Vyapaka, that which pervades. Here Vyapaka means Prayojaka. So that which becomes instrumental in happening of something else. When we say Yatra Yatra Dhumaha, Tatra Tatra Vannihi, then there is a Vyapti. In that case, so wherever there is fire, there is smoke. So fire becomes Vyapaka and smoke becomes Vyapta. Smoke cannot be there unless fire is there. So only when fire is, that smoke can be. Smoke cannot be if fire is not. In which case, fire becomes what? Vyapaka, Prayojaka. And smoke becomes what? Vyapta. In that case, Hetu becomes Vyapta and the Sadhya becomes Vyapaka. Vyapaka, right? So only when fire is, then the smoke can be. This is the relationship between the smoke and fire, between Sadhya and Hetu. So similarly also, here Adhishthanam becomes Sadhyam. So in this case, Adhishthanatvam can be there only when these two factors are satisfied. What is that? Indriya Sanyuktatvam and Vishayatvam. So this Indriya Sanyuktatvam and Vishayatvam, both of them become what? Vyapaka or Prayojaka. And then alone Adhishthanatvam can be there. Otherwise, Adhishthanatvam cannot be. So thing cannot become the locus of superimposition unless it possesses these two qualifications, Indriya Sanyoga and Vishayatva. Now Atma does not have Indriya Sanyuktatvam because Atma is Avishaya and it is not a Vishaya either, and therefore it cannot become Adhishthanam. Tatra Vyapaka Abhavat. When these Vyapakas are not there, namely, if it is Adhishthanam, it must be Vishaya and there must be Indriya Sanyoga. So now in this particular case, if there is an Adhishthanam, then it must have Indriya Sanyoga and Vishayatva. Now if there is Indriya Sanyoga and Vishayatva, then alone we can arrive at Adhishthanatvam. However, that Indriya Sanyoga and Vishayatva, which become the necessary factors for establishing a given thing as a locus of adhyasa, when these two are not there, then Vyapaka Abhavat, Vyapya Abhavaha. When cause is not there, the effect cannot be. So Vyapaka Abhavat Atmanaha Adhishthanatvam Nisambhavati. We say that Atma cannot be Adhishtanam because it does not possess the necessary qualification required for it to become Adhishtanam or the locus of Adhyasa. Iti abhipretyaha pratyagatmani iti. So katham punah is a question. And then pratyagatmani avishaye adhyasah vishaya tad dharmanam katham. Says Purnanandiya in 9th or 10th line there, aparoksh adhyasam prati adhisthana samanya jnanam adhisthana indriya sanyogasya hetuhu तथा च शुक्त्यादौ कारणद्वयसत्वात् अध्यासः भवतु आत्मनि तु तदभावात् न संभवति अध्यासः इत्येवं शंकितुः अभिप्रायम् आविष्कुर्वन् भाष्यम् अवतारयति. When we say indriya sanyoga is there with shuktika, that is what we call shuktika samanya jnanam. That we know shuktika, the mother of pearl, as idam. For us to know that as idam or this, there must be contact of the eyes with the shuktika. So, aparoksha adhyasam prati adhisthana samanya jnanam. The adhisthana vishesha jnanam should not be there, but adhisthana samanya jnanam should be there, and adhisthana samanya jnanam can be only when indriya sanyoga is there. Otherwise, there cannot be adhisthana samanya jnanam. Meaning, for me to know shuktika is this, at least there must be contact of my eyes with the shuktika. Then only I say that something is lying there. Samanya jnanam adhisthana indriya sanyogasya hetuhu. And that can happen only when adhisthana sanyoga, meaning sanyoga with the adhisthana is there, shuktika is there. Tatha cha shuktyadu karanadvaya sattvat. So first there is an indriya sanyoga with the adhisthana and samanya jnanam takes place. I see the shuktika and I say there is something here. So first contact is there and then vishayatva, meaning samanya jnanam is there. In such objects as shukti etc., karanadvaya sattvat, since both these karanas or causes or prayojakas are present, adhyasah bhavatu, we say that let there be adhyasa. Atmani tu tadabhavat, however in Atma, both of these are absent, न संभवति अध्यास इति एवं शंकितुः अभिप्रायम् आविष्कुर्वन् भाष्यम् अवतारयति यत्र इति. Says Purnandiya further, Indriya sanyoga adhisthana samanya jnanayoh adhyasam prati hetutvadev. Since Indriya sanyoga and adhisthana samanya jnanam, both of them become the hetu or the prayojaka or the cause for adhyasa. Yatra adhyasa adhisthanattvam तत्र इंद्रिय संयुक्तत्वम विषयत्वम चैति व्याप्ति अनुभव सिद्धः भवति. So wherever adhyasa adhisthanattva is there, that indriya संयुक्तत्व and the विषयत्व must be there. तथा चत्र सामग्र्य भावेन इंद्रिय संयुक्तत्व विषयत्व रूप व्यापक अभावात् अधिष्ठानत्व रूप व्याप्य अभावः तस्माद् अध्यास न संभवति अभिप्रेत्याह इत्यर्थः. This we discussed that since in this case these two aspects are not in the case of Atma, therefore the Shankitu, this fellow says that there is no adhyasa, there is no possibility of adhyasa in Atma because Atma does not possess those two qualifications which are required for it to become the adhishtanam or substratum for superimposition. प्रत्यगात्मनि अविषयेति पदद्वयेन सामग्री अभाव स्फुटीकुर्वन् अन्वयम् आविष्करोति प्रतीचीति. So भाष्यकार says प्रत्यगात्मनि अविषये इति पदद्वयेन सामग्री अभाव स्फुटीकुर्वन्. When भाष्यकार uses two words प्रत्यगात्मनि in the inner self and avishaye which is not an object of perception, by those two words Bhashyakara wants to reveal that there is adhyasa samagri abhava, absence of these necessary causes in Atma for it being to be the adhishtanam. And that's what the Tikakara explains. Ratnaprabha says pratyagatmani, so pratichi purne indriya agrahye vishayasya ahankaradehe tad dharmanam cha adhyasa katham ityarthah. Pratyagatma means Pratichi. So Pratyak is Pratyagatma and Pratyak also for Praticha. That also word is derived from same. So Pratichi, that which is Pratyak, meaning inner, and Purne, that which is complete. So what? Indriya can only perceive something that is small or incomplete. Eyes can only see color and form. They cannot hear the words. Eyes can only gain the perception of the form or color. Ears can gain the perception of sound. And that too, sound within a certain frequency range. Or eyes can see the color also within certain frequency range. The idea is the object of sense perception must always be alpa or a limited object. Atma is Purna. Purna can never become the object of perception because our sense organs are not equipped to perceive the whole thing. Our sense organs are equipped to perceive only a little fraction of anything. So Atma being Purna, Indriya Agrahya hai. Therefore it is Agrahya, not perceptible, cannot become the object of perception of the sense organs. Vishayasya Ahankara, in that being the case, meaning Atma cannot become the locus of superimposition, then Vishaya Tadharmanam. What is Vishaya? Vishayasya Ahankaradehe. Vishayasya Tadharmanam. Here the adhyasa is of Ahankara upon the Atma. When Atma cannot become the locus of superimposition, how can Vishaya such as Ahankara be superimposed upon the Atma? The Dharmanam, the dharma of the Ahankara such as Kartrutva etc., how can they be superimposed upon the Atma? Adhyasa kasam ityasah. So Pratichi dyanena Indriya asanyuktatve iti bhavaha. That Pratichi means that which cannot be contacted by na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati. Because paranchikhani vyatrunas swayambhuhu. The Lord has created the sense organs external. Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. So person only sees what is external, out there, does not see the antaratma. Because antaratma is behind the sense organs and therefore cannot become the object of perception by the sense organs. Because they are all directed out there. When a telescope is directed in northern direction, I cannot see what is behind the telescope in any way. And therefore I cannot obviously perceive the Atma which is behind the sense organs. And therefore, when it says Pratichi, when Atma is inner, it is meant that this Indriya Avishaya cannot be perceived by the sense organs. There cannot be any Indriya Sanyoga or contact of sense organs with Atma. That's what is meant by na tatra chakshur gacchati na vag gacchati. Or yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha. So Purnanya says yadyapi anatmanastu ajnana vishayatvam ahankara parinama rupa vritti vishayatvam chasti tathapi indriya janya jnana vishayatvam nasti. Ini padadvaya phalidamarthamaha. Yadyapi atmanastu, I'm sorry. Yadyapi atmanastu ajnana vishayatvam. So Atma becomes the ajnana vishaya, meaning object of ignorance. Atma is both ajnana ashraya and ajnana vishaya. Ajnana ashraya means ajnana has its root or basis in Atma. Ajnana cannot be unless Atma is. So ajnana depends upon Atma for its existence, therefore Atma is ajnana ashraya. And that ajnanam, what does it do? It veils the very Atma upon which it depends. Interesting thing is, ajnanam derives its existence from Atma and conceals that very Atma. Like a cloud which exists because of sun and conceals that very sun. Similarly also, ajnanam is there because Atma is and it veils or conceals the very nature of Atma. So inasmuch as Atma is the ashraya or basis, therefore it is called ajnana ashraya. Inasmuch as Atma, the true nature of Atma is veiled by ignorance, therefore it is called ajnana vishaya. So Atma is ajnana ashraya, tad vishayascha. So yadyapi atmanastu ajnana vishayatvam ahankara parinama rupa vritti vishayatvam chasti. And Atma also becomes vritti vishaya. Atma also is known to us. when Atma gets transformed as Ahankara, then Atma becomes what? Known as Ahankara, as the individual self. So Ahankara Parinama Rupa Vritti Vishayatvam. Vritti, which is of the nature of Ahankara. Which of the nature of Ahankara means the sense of individuality. And so Atma is known as the Vishaya, as something that is revealed by this Ahankara Vritti. Tathapi Indriyajanya Jnana Vishayatvam Nasti. We do not say that Atma is, that point will be explored later. We don't say that Atma is totally unknown. Atma is known. Because I know Atma is myself. I don't know that it is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. But I do know Atma is myself, and thus Atma becomes the object of knowledge as Aham, Aham, Aham. Aham Vritti reveals the Atma. However, Indriyajanya Jnana Vishayatvam Nasti. The knowledge of Atma is different from knowledge of Shuktika. How is Shuktika known, or Rajju, which is Adhyas Adhishtanam? How are they known? Indriya Janya Jnana is there. So Indriya Janya Jnana Vishayatvam. That I know Shuktika as an object of knowledge produced by sense organs. So Shuktika is known as something revealed by the eyes. Rajju is known as something revealed by the eyes. So sense organs reveal those objects. And that is the distinction between Atma and this Vishaya or Shuktika. So that qualification that Shuktika has, namely Indriya Janya Jnana Vishayatvam. Shuktika is the Jnana Vishaya object of knowledge which is generated by sense organs. So Indriya Janya Jnana Vishayatvam is there in Shuktika. Indriya Janya Jnana Vishayatvam is not there in Atma, because Atma can never be contacted by the sense organs. Iti padadvaya phalitam. We do not say, Bhashyakara when he says Pratyekātmani Avishaye, doesn't say that Atma is unknown. But Atma is an entity quite different from such entities as Shuktika, etc. Whereas Shuktika is Parag, outward, Atma is Pratyak. Where Shuktika is Vishaya, Jnana Vishaya, Indriya Janya Jnana Vishaya, Atma is Avishaya, meaning Indriya Janya Jnana Avishaya. Not that Atma is unknown. Atma does not become the object of knowledge of sensuous knowledge. Atma does not become the object of sensuous knowledge, meaning knowledge of sense perception. That is what those two words mean. So, Pratiji Purne Indriyagrahye Vishayasya Ahankaradehe Tad Dharmanam Chadyasa Katham Ityartha. This is a question now. Ukta Vyaptimaha. This very same Vyapti. We said that wherever there is Adhishthānatvam, there is Indriya Sanyuktatvam and Vishayatvam. This is Vyapti that we find. The Purupakshi presents the same Vyapti. Ukta Vyaptimaha Sarvohiti. Says Bhashyakara, Sarvohi Purovasthite Vishaye Vishayantar Madhyasyati Yushmat Pratyayapetasya Cha Pratyekātmanah Avishayatvam Bravishi. Sarvohi Purovasthite Vishaye Vishayantar Madhyasyati. It's a common experience that everyone superimposes one Vishaya upon another Vishaya, where Rajat also is the Vishaya, meaning that which is objectified by the sense organs, and Shuktika also is the object of sense perception. So one object of sense perception, such as Rajata, is commonly superimposed upon another object of perception, such as Shuktika. This is what the common experience of everyone is. The object must be Purovasthite. The object must be in front of you, meaning it must be different from you, it must be Vishaya. And second is, it is Purovasthite and Vishaye. It is something that is seen by you or perceived by you, and that it is an object of your perception. Then alone, Vishayantar Madhyasyati. And what is superimposed also is something other than you and something that is known to you. So both Rajata and Shuktika are Vishayas, and other than the person who superimposes. Devadatta never superimposes silverness upon himself. He may take a rope as a snake, he never takes himself as a snake. Thank God that never happens. If that adhyasa starts happening, that will be terrible. Part of such adhyasa does happen, of course. So, putre nashte aham nashtah, putre pushte aham pushtah. When my son gets sick or ill, then I become ill. My son passes examination, then I get the same joy. So some kind of identification is there, but still there is an appreciation of the distinction between myself and the son. Samsarga is there, Tadhatma is not there. But nobody ever superimposes that snakeness upon oneself. I always superimpose snake upon a rope. Where snake also is different from me, rope also different from me. Snake also object of my perception, rope also object of my perception. So both Adhisthana and Adhyaropan, both of them have these qualifications really. In this case, Ahankara no doubt is an object of my knowledge and therefore it can be called Vishaya. But Atma certainly is not the object of my knowledge and therefore how can Atma become the Adhisthana locus for superimposition of Ahankara and its dharmas? So Purovasthitatvam, Ratnavasa, Indriya Sanyuktatvam. Purovasthita means so Indriya Sanyukta Vishaya. Vishaya that is subject to contact with the sense organs. Nanu Atmanah Adhisthanattvartham Vishayattvadikam Astu. Suppose we say Atmanah Adhisthanattvartham, that Atma can become Adhishthanam. For that purpose, Vishayattvadikam Astu. Let Atma be called Vishaya. And let Atma also become what? The Indriya Sanyukta as well as Vishaya. Let us say that Atma is both. So what? So because we are interested in proving Atma as Adhishthanam for the Adhyasa, so suppose temporarily we accept that Atma is Vishaya as well as Indriya Sanyukta. So there is an Indriya Sanyuga and Vishayatvam in the Atma. Suppose we say that. What's wrong with that? Then he says, Yushmat Pratyaya Apetasya cha Pratyagatmanah Avishayatvam Bravishi. If you say that, you are going to contradict what you said elsewhere. Sometimes in order to escape a given situation, you might accept something here. In that process, we might very much contradict what we have said elsewhere. So that's what people do. They always put you, with your back to the wall and then make you commit things and then say, but this is what you told me the other day, you see? Oh, this is what you said there, and that's how contradiction, is a glaring contradiction is demonstrated in your stand. And that's what happens. Suppose Vedanta says, okay, Atma is Vishaya and Atma is, that is Indriya Sanyuga is there. Suppose. Then he says, Yushmat Pratyaya Apetasya. You started Yushmat Asmat Pratyaya Gocharayoho. In that, the intention was that Atma is not Yushmat Pratyaya Gochara, Asmat Pratyaya Gochara. Meaning, Yushmat Pratyaya Apetaha. Idea is there is no Yushmatvam in Atma at all. At no time, Atma can ever become indicated as you. Atma can never become an object of knowledge. There cannot be otherness in Atma. I cannot take myself other than myself. So Vishaya is what? There is otherness. That this handkerchief is other than me. Book is other than me. There cannot be that otherness in me, in Atma. So Yushmat Pratyaya Gochara is that which is appreciated as other. Atma can never be appreciated as other. That was the idea of calling it so Asmat Pratyaya, or then Vishaya is called Yushmat Pratyaya Gochara. So he recalls here Yushmat Pratyaya Apetasya. Yushmat Pratyaya is what? Idam Pratyaya Anahasya. So that which is devoid of Yushmat Pratyayatvam, that which is devoid of the otherness. Or you can say Idam Pratyaya Anahasya, that which can never become, that is not qualified or not fit to become the object of Idam Pratyaya. Atma can never be appreciated as Idam, as this. Pratyagatmanah na chakshusha gruhyate. So na chakshusha gruhyate na api vacha. Nanye devaihi tapasa lingakena. So Atma cannot be appreciated by chakshu or vani, etc. So that's all. Na chakshusha gruhyate. Mundaka Upanishad says. So since Upanishad is pramanam, whatever Upanishad says anywhere, we are supposed to adhere to it. You can't say, no, I don't, this is Kshepaka, that you can't. So you cannot have a convenient rule that we don't accept Mundaka Upanishad or we don't accept this Upanishad. No. When a Shruti is pramanam, so Vedanta nama Upanishad pramanam. What is meant is Vedanta. Vedanta is what? Pramanam. And what is that? Upanishad. So whatever Upanishad says anywhere, you must also abide by it. Now, suppose while explaining Upanishad, you say that Upanishad, the Atma is not an object of sense perception. While discussing Adhyasa, you quietly say that Atma can become the object of sense perception. That won't work. So, na chakshusha grushyate ityadi shruti anusrutya. Tvam avishayatvam bravishi. When you talk with reference to Shruti, you say Atma is not an object of perception. There Vashyakara explains in Mundaka Upanishad, by Chakshu we should understand all sense organs of perception. Otherwise somebody says, all that Atma cannot be seen by eyes, but it can be heard anyway. There are people who say that. So, it says no, by Chakshu we should mean, it's a representative of all the organs of perception. So, na chakshusha grushyate ityadi shrutim anusrutya. Tvam avishayatvam bravishi. You who are the adherent of Shruti say that Atma is avishaya. Samprati now adhyasa lobhena. In order to, because of greed of adhyasa. Adhyasa lobhena. Adhyasa lobhena means, so adhyasa siddhyatham. Adhyasa siddhyaviprayana. In order now to establish adhyasa, that means to prove the Atma as Adhyasa Adhishtham, Vishayatva Angikare, if you accept Adhyasa, it's like Yudhishthira, that ultimately he plays and he puts everything, including his wife, This is what you are doing, In order to play the game, you are losing yourself by selling yourself. So, Adhyasa Lobhena, Vishayatva Angikare, if you accept Atma as Vishaya, then whole discussion becomes meaningless. Because then there is no adhyasa at all. That's what he will immediately prove. So, Vishayatva Angikare, Shruti Siddhantayoho Bhadasyat. Shrutehe Bhadaha, Siddhantasya Bhadascha. That Shruti also you will be disowning the Shruti and you will be contradicting your own Siddhanta. Ityartha. This is how he nails you down. That you have to now prove. It is nice to say paratra parabhasa adhyasa. Okay, that we accept. Such thing as Shuktika, etc. But please show us how can it be in Atma. Says Purnanandiya on the page 49, third line, Yatha ghatavati bhutale nila ghatovanasti iti uktya na ekantena ghata bhava vivakshate तथा स्वरूप ज्ञान विषयत्व अभावोक्त्या अहम प्रत्यय विषयत्वेन अभ्युपगते हि आत्मनि न एकांतेन विषयत्व अभावः विवक्षितः इति अभिप्रेत्य सिद्धांत भाष्यम अवतारयति. He is telling us what idea is going to develop here, So he just makes us wise with reference to the trend of discussion. So he says here, यथा घटवती भूतले नील घटो नास्ति. There is on the floor lying a ghata, a pot. And even though the pot is lying, I say that a blue pot is not on the floor. When I say blue pot is not on the floor, na ekantena ghata abhavaha vivakshate. It is not my intention to say that there is no pot on the floor. All I am saying is a blue pot is not on the floor. That does not mean that no pot is on the floor. So na ekantena ghata abhavaha vivakshate. When I qualify the pot as blue, that means that a yellow pot can be there. I told you that blue pot was not. What happens is, sometimes people don't quite listen to you. And they say, he thought that there is no pot. I said blue pot is not there. I didn't say a pot is not there, And so, na ekantena ghata abhavaha vivakshate. So when you say blue pot is not there on the floor, you do not mean to say that pot is totally non-existent or no pot is there on the floor. Only blueness is denied in the existent pot. That's all it is. You must be very careful when somebody says blue pot is not there. Which means pot is there. Except that there is no blueness in that pot. And thus, he says, na ekantena vishayatva bhavaha ghata bhavaha vivakshate tatha swarupa jnana vishayatva abhavoktya. When we say na chakshusha grushyate na pivacha, what is it? Ashabdamasparsham arupam avyayam. When we say, then we are saying that Atma cannot be seen, cannot be heard, cannot be touched. Swarupa jnana vishayatva abhavaha. Meaning Swarupa Jnanam, Atma is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava, can never become the object of sense perception. That's what we mean. So Swarupa Jnana Vishatva Abhavoktya, Aham Pratyaya Vishatvena Abhyupagatehi Atmani. However, we accept that Atma is known as Aham Pratyaya Vishaya. There is Aham Pratyaya means that appreciation. And therefore this cognition, Aham, I, and Atma is the very content of that I. That content of my idea of the self. And therefore, we do not say that Atma is totally unknown. When we say Atma is unknown, we mean that Atma is unknown as a Vishaya. Atma is unknown as an Indriya Vishaya. We do not say that Atma is totally unknown. When we say that a blue pot is not there, we mean that the pot doesn't have blueness. We do not say that a pot is not there. And similarly also when we say Atma is not known, we only mean that Atma as it is not known by sense organs, but Atma is known as Aham Pratyaya Vishatvena. It becomes the object, it becomes something that is revealed by Aham Pratyaya. The existence of Atma is revealed by Aham Pratyaya. Even if not as an object, the existence of Atma is revealed by Aham Pratyaya, as we will discuss. So, Abhyupagatehi Atmani na ekantena Vishaya Bhava Vivakshita. Even in discussing Sambhavana, the intention is only to discuss Atma, understand. We are not interested in Adhyasa for the sake of Adhyasa. In and through the discussion of Adhyasa also, in fact, the nature of Atma is being revealed. And now it's further being clarified. That what is the nature of knowledge of Atma is being clarified here. There is not Vishayatvena Jnanam, but still there is Jnanam of Atma. So we have to prove here that there is Samanya Jnana of the Atma. And that Samanya Jnana arises even without the Indriya Sanyoga. The Samanya Jnana or the general knowledge of Shiktika can be there only when Indriya Sanyoga is there. But for Samanya Jnana of Atma, such a condition is not necessary. So we will say that Indriya Sanyoga is not the necessary condition, Samanya Jnanam is necessary condition. That's all.